Hey everyone, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and I'm Ethan Van Sciver, a 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Great big Star Wars fan, trusted member of the media. So I just got word about this article from Cosmic Book News, and this is rough times. It goes along with the video I made earlier today. What can I tell you? DC Comics in dire straits? Question mark. Jacking up the line. Now, when I was there, when I worked at DC Comics, there was a slogan that they were kind of proud of, holding the line at $2.99. They were trying to keep their comic books at $2.99 when Marvel had already pushed their line to $3.99, and this wasn't long ago. This was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, which might seem like a long time to you, but it's not that long ago. It's not that long ago for prices to literally more than double, 250% to $8. $8 now for a comic book. Why, I remember when they were 60 cents. I go back that far. Of course I do. So what's going on here? We've got the comic book industry shrinking because, of course, readers are kind of saying, "Hey, I don't like the social justice propaganda in these comics. All right, it's disgusting. It feels like a waste of my time. It feels like I'm being exploited." Manipulated as a reader. It feels like I'm being lectured to by blue-haired weirdos. I don't want to have any part of this. I don't want the comic books anymore. I just don't want them. So as comic book readers flee, Marvel and DC still have to make their bottom line. They still have to actually appease their bosses, Warner Brothers and Disney. And so what do? They have to change things. They have to up the prices of their book, and they have to trick retailers into ordering more of them through variant covers, unasked for variant covers. And that's kind of where we find ourselves in order to keep the comic book industry isn't shrinking. It's still bringing in the same amount of money, isn't it? That's because you're charging $8 a book now. And of course, once people see that the comic books are $8, even more of them are going to leave. This is called a death spiral, but at least let's find out what's going on here. It's hilarious. DC Comics is, by the way, great art here by it. Looks like Ivan Reyes. Terrific art. Why is it? But why are the superheroes always dying? They're always dying or crying over a grave or something like that. This is the most common superhero trope. I'm sorry, forgive me, but they used to tell you, editorial would say, "Hey, we need you to do this cover. Could you have the villain victorious over the slumbering or defeated bodies of all of the heroes?" And at first you're like, yeah, of course, I'll do that. The 50th time that they ask you to draw that same trope, that same dumb cover idea, it really is agony. How many different ways can you draw Superman bleeding and splayed out on the ground at the feet of some kind of hapless villain, some worthless workaday villain? Well, that's what you do. That's the work. That's the job. DC Comics is rumored to be jacking up the line by introducing new titles featuring Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, and more, priced at $7.99. Okay, it is claimed that with DC Comics replacing all of its core characters in the 5G promotional event, this is a big deal. 5G is DC Comics' stab at relevance. It's their stab at performing for their new masters, AT&T. So AT&T picked up Time Warner, along with everything else that comes with Time Warner, some really good stuff. They've got this vestigial tale. They've got the publishing arm, this magazine publishing company that publishes $8 pamphlets about superheroes, and basically, of course, the stockholders, the people who are actually invested in this new company are like, what are you doing? What's all this extra stuff that's coming along? How can we make the company more profitable? How can we make this corporation less wasteful? And DC Comics, of course, is right in the firing line of those conclusions. And so they're trying to get attention. So what they've done is they're launching this thing called 5G. They're going to change all of the characters. They're going to change Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. They're going to change all those characters in order to create interesting new takes on those characters that then Time Warner, AT&T can exploit in their ultimate plan, which is just to create a new streaming service, to compete with Netflix, Disney Plus, and everyone else, Amazon Prime, So this is basically DC saying, "Look at us, we can do it. We're we're generating new ideas." All right, so they're reminiscent of the politically correct Axel Alonso era at Marvel Comics. Okay, so that's the Axel Alonso era at Marvel Comics means the SJW era at Marvel Comics. Axel Alonso promoted social justice warriors. He did everything to ruin those characters at Marvel, and he did everything to sort of add new social justice characters, most of them female, to the line while denigrating their long-term characters, which all seem to be white males. Okay, the Incredible Hulk was killed. Tony Stark was killed. Captain America has been a Nazi all along. That is the Axel Alonso era at Marvel Comics. Interestingly enough, it says here Bendis is now at DC. Right, he's over there. Bendis was one of the main guys who actually perpetrated that line, the Axel Alonso line at Marvel. DC paid through the nose to get him. And now he's over there. All right, that everyone hated. Everyone did hate it. Caused sales to absolutely tank and also caused Alonso to get fired. DC is going to be launching a new line of Black Label comics featuring the original characters at a more expensive price. So if you don't want social justice, if you don't want this new line of characters that they're going to do, then you're going to be paying, I guess you're going to be paying $8. Is that what it is? $8 for just the status quo. Okay, yet with more content. All right, it is said that for 5G, 5G will feature the Black Batman Luke Fox. Yeah, Batman's going to be black now, guys. I know you were waiting for that. Everyone was sick of Bruce Wayne, right? Everyone. Yeah, Batman, there was something wrong with Batman. We had to change him. We had to replace him. And now's as good a time as any. Last time DC Comics replaced Batman was back in the early 90s. They had Bane break Bruce Wayne's back. And they replaced him, with a Frenchman, as you do. And that did fine because in the 1990s, money was just coming in, okay? That money was like, it was crazy. Comics were selling hand over fist, and so you could afford to just mess with people. Now is not the time to mess with people. That's my feeling. Now is the time to nurture fandom and try to give them the best of what they want. Optimistic, sunny, fun, heroic, scary versions of their favorite superhero characters that, frankly, they can get elsewhere. They don't have to go to comics to get a Batman story anymore. You can actually just go to the movies. You can play the video game. You can watch the TV show Gotham. There are too many people who are actually producing too many good Batman substitutes for comic books. There's just no reason. So this just seems like a bad move to me. All right, so Batman is Luke Fox. Jonathan Kent is Superman. Why? We don't need Clark Kent anymore. The child of Captain Boomerang is the Flash, and either a Teen Lantern for the new Green Lantern or the Far Sector lead as Green Lantern. Okay, Teen Lantern, of course, is a teenage black girl who used her laptop computer to hack into Oa and steal the Green Lantern powers. Thank you, Bendis. Thank you for that. Thank you for that laugh. DC Comics Black Label will cost more, featuring original characters. All right, so regarding the new Black Label comics, it said plans are underway to launch a number of now new oversized titles, starring Bruce Wayne as Batman, Clark Kent as Superman, Diana as Wonder Woman, Arthur Curry as Aquaman, Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, and Barry Allen or Wally West as the Flash at $7.99 each. Now, even though I'm making fun of this, I'm not hating on this idea. If you want to, I believe, as part of Comicsgate, we do have to change the way comics are being delivered to people. We do. We actually have to change that. So, the idea of taking the original characters, doing idealized, perfect versions of them, and offering bigger comic books, better quality comics at $8. Seems like maybe where things are going to go, especially since, as we reported, comic book shops are closing down now. These books are likely going to be marketed at places like Walmart or, Target or bookstores, just regular bookstores. So this isn't a terrible idea, not at all. So basically what we see DC Comics is doing is that they're charging their customers more for the titles they want. The original and popular characters, while the titles no one wants, will cost less. A bit of a bait and switch, don't you think? Well, maybe. I don't know. I just love the idea of $8 comic books at this point. $8 monthly comics just seems like not a great idea. What Comic Skaters are doing is we're actually offering comics at around $25 with all kinds of bells and whistles attached to them, stickers, trading cards, stuff like that, making them oversized and making them more or less annual, even though I'm going to try to do 2 Cyberfrogs in 2020, which I'm pretty excited about. I don't know. Maybe those rumors of DC Comics being in dire straits are true, and that if things don't pick up, hence the new prices, DC Comics will indeed be sold up by AT&T. Most certainly that is the case, okay? So this is the way the mainstream is going right now. It's sad, it's funny, it's you have to laugh at this. You have to laugh at these people in the mainstream. They're mostly social justice warriors. They have destroyed. They basically destroyed their own industry. I talked about this morning how I was listening to a comic book professional say, nobody gets into comics to make money. We're not here to make money, okay? That's like gross. Making money is gross. Well, that kind of attitude ends up here, all right? Eventually with, people and their vanity projects that nobody wants, gatekeeping, customers, gatekeeping professionals, and just trying to make everything into some sort of like social justice, far left-wing hug box. This is where we find ourselves now, begging people to buy at $8 the characters that they love, the characters that they actually came here in the first place, and at the same time doing another event that offers them more agitation, more of these new, kind of diversity project. These new characters are being created, especially just, I don't know, A, for diversity, and B, just to kind of say, hey, everyone, hey, in Hollywood, hey, we can do news stories, we can do news stories too. Yeah, that might be true. You guys might be able to do news stories, but can you do stories better than some schmuck in Hollywood can do it? Can you write a better Batman comic book than they can do a Batman movie? That's the question. And I think most people would say, no, not necessarily. So if you're tired of this, if you want something different, I'm working on the cover right now to a comic book called Vestige. Vestige #1. This is currently in demand. I'm doing the front cover of this. It is totally awesome. What if the relics of history carried their own powers and the spirits of those who wielded them? Mixing historical accuracy and fantasy adventure. Vestige links the events of history through the influence of legendary weapons of the past, like King Arthur's sword. I mean, all these weapons are finding their way into the hands of new users, and it's pretty exciting. I gotta say, I'm working. Where did I put the cover? It's over there. Never mind. I was gonna show it, but it would be too far, too inconvenient to get right now. But anyway, Vestige #1. Do back this comic book. And let's send a message. Let's send a message to the mainstream that basically the indies can do it better right now. And I think that we can. I think that's definitely true. All right, everyone. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think of all this. Do you think $8 is too much to pay for some Superman comic in this day and age? They couldn't sell these comics, the same comics they're going to be producing. They can't sell them for $3.99 right now, and they're going to charge $8. What do you think? Do you think if it's bigger, you might pay for it? What's going to happen to all of the professionals now that they're going to be paring down their line again? There will be more professionals who are flushed out into the independent market, over to Marvel Comics. This is all inevitable. Is Marvel Comics going to follow them, by the way, and do their own $8 line? You better believe it. Of course they are. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like, and I will see you again later. Bye-bye.